We have many algorithms for searching arrays. The simplest one is called the linear search algorithm. So let's say we have an array of numbers and we are looking for a particular value in this array. Now to find this value, we're going to iterate over this array and compare each element with the target value. If we find it, we're going to return its index. Otherwise, we're going to return -1 because that's not a valid index for an array, right? Now, in the best case scenario, the target value is at the beginning of the array, so we need only one comparison to find it. In computer science, we show this using the big O notation. Now, in the worst case scenario, the target value is at the end of the array, so we need to iterate over the entire array to find it. So if our array has n elements, then we need n comparisons to find the target value. Now, this algorithm is called the linear search because the cost of this algorithm increases linearly and in direct proportion to the size of the array. So as the array gets larger, the cost of our algorithm also increases in a linear way. Now, there are many other algorithms that are way more efficient. I've covered them in detail in my data structures and algorithms course. So if you want to learn more, I highly encourage you to take a look at that course. Just remember that I've created that course with Java, but as a C++ programmer, you have no problem understanding Java code because Java is based on C++. So you don't really need to learn Java just to take that course, okay? Now, as your exercise, I want you to implement this algorithm in C++. So create a function for finding a value in an integer array. If the target value exists, return its index, otherwise return -1. So spend a few minutes on this and then come back see my solution. All right, we're going to define a function that returns an integer. We can call that find or search. It doesn't really matter. Now here we need 3 parameters. The first one is our array of numbers. The second one is the size of the array. Now here we can use an int, but if you want to guarantee that this code is going to work even with the largest array, then we need to use size t because this can hold a larger value than an int, right? Now for small arrays, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go with int for simplicity. And then we need to specify the target value. So int target. Now in this function, we're going to iterate over this array. And if we find the target value, we're going to return its index. Otherwise, -1. So for int I equal to 0, while is less than size, we're going to do I++. Now, if we find this number, we're going to return I as the index. Otherwise, if we finish our for loop and end up here, that means the target value doesn't exist in the array. So we're going to return -1. As simple as that. This is our linear search algorithm. Now let's test this function. So over here, we're going to print and then call find to pass numbers, followed by its size, and then the target value, let's say 10. So we should see 0 because that's the index of 10 in this array. Take a look. So that works well, good. What if we pass a value that doesn't exist in this array? We get -1. Beautiful.